Contouring, blushing, and highlighting. Um, I have kind of a different system that I like to use for both. So I like to first typically start off with contour. So I'm going to take a super fluffy brush like this, and it has an angled tip, but it is still fluffy. As you can see, it has a little bit of product on there still. The brushes that I typically like to use are Morphe brushes. Highly recommend checking them out. They're really good brushes, and they're pretty cheap. You can get a bundle for pretty cheap, and it'll just be your everyday brushes, and they last quite a long time. They're really good brushes. Highly recommend checking them out. Okay, so first thing first, I'm going to go and contour my face. So contour is just adding depth to other places you don't have light. So I added light right here, and right here. So now I'm going to add depth right here, and then along the sides of my forehead and along the sides of my nose. And that's just going to give you the more chiseled model look, I guess you could say. Okay, so first I'm going to go in with my contouring palette. This is by Profusion. I've had this one for a while. It's busted and crusted and dusted. But I love this contour palette because it has all my shades that I might need for when I do clients. So I'm just going to tap in there, and I'm going to brush off some of the extra product. I'm going to go right where I find the top of my ear, so right up here and down. So that's where I'm going to contour right there. That's the biggest trick I can tell you about contouring is the top of your ear down. That's where you want to contour your cheekbone. So I'm going to go right in there. And I'm going to blend it into my hairline because I don't want to look choppy. And the biggest thing you can do with contouring is just go in with a light amount and then add in the more you want. So obviously that you can already see some. I'm going to go in a little bit more and just keep defining that. As you can see, that adds a little bit more warmth. I love contouring. Excuse me. So if you're like me and you don't have very pronounced cheekbones, you need a little bit of extra contour. So now I'm just going to go under my jawline. Because once again, my jawline is not very prominent. And I'm just going to shape out my jaw. This one's pretty much self-explanatory. Just keep blending it. So now I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to do the other side. Find the top of my cheekbone, down, and right there is what I want to do. And most of us will already have a natural shadow right there, and that's pretty much where I recommend just adding your contour into your natural shadow. I don't want to bring it down too far because I don't want to go over that lightness I just added. That's a common mistake people make, is bringing their contour too far down, and it kind of just defeats the whole purpose. So now I'm going to go on my forehead. And after this, if you have bangs or whatever like me, I'm just going to leave my bangs down because I don't think I'll really go in too much anymore up there. So, yes, I'm just going to go back in, make sure everything's blended. And as you can see, it makes my face look a little bit slimmer. So yeah, so now we're going to go in with nose contouring. This one's a little bit harder for people to understand, I guess. So basically, what I'm going to do is I have an angled brush right here, once again from Morphe. It has a longer hair and it's more fluffy, but it is a little bit stiff down here. But as you can see, the angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the product and I'm going to add it right here to make it look a little bit slimmer. And then I'm going to add it right here to make it look a little bit shorter because I do have like a longer nose. So it's going to make it look a little bit shorter and a little bit slimmer. Obviously, you just have to play around and see what you think will work best for you, but this is just what I like to do. So as you can see, I'm already adding a little bit of shade right there. And it's already adding a little bit depth. a little bit of depth. I'm going to drag it up here just so it all kind of blends together. But yeah, you can already see that depth right there that I don't have on my side. And obviously, if you have an uneven nose, which is more common than you think, quite a bit of people have an uneven nose, you would add more shade to the side that is uneven. So if it's slanting this way, I would add a little bit more shade to this side to make it look even. Then if it was slanting this way, I would add a little bit more shade right here. And obviously these are all just tips I picked up from the literal billions of makeup videos I've watched over the years, and what I figured out works best for me and on the clients that I do is just kind of what I've been recommending to you guys. So blend that up. And so now obviously you see I have my light shades on the top row right there. They're not as light as they look in the camera. So I'm just going to dip into whatever shade works best for me. I like a little bit of both of these. And I'm just going to go right in the center. And that's just going to once again add more highlight, and then right below it. Just blend. So next we're going to go in with blush and bronzer. So for bronzer, I use the the Benefit Hoola bronzer. I really love this bronzer. It is a great bronzer. If you're just starting out, it does have quite a bit of shades. I just use the original one. There is a light if you're more fair skinned than me, and there is darker shades if you have darker skin. So yes, now I'm just going to go in with an angled fluffy brush. As you can see the angle right there. It has long bristles and it's more fluffy. Obviously, just play around. You can use one brush for your whole face if you really wanted to, but this is what I like to use. So I'm going to tap in there, and bronzer is just going to add a little bit more of a sun-kissed look to your skin. It's just going to go around the kind of edges of your contour, and it's going to make your face look more tan and just kind of provide a sun glow to your face. It's typically what I call it. So I'm just going to go right over the area that I did the contour and just do circle motions and really blend that out. I'm not focusing that in one area because it is adding depth to my face, as you can see. It's just, you have layers to your face, and this is just another layer over the contour that's going to make it look all complete. And then I'm going to go a little bit down here to blend it all together. And you'll have to be careful because some bronzers will be too red or too orange. So once again, makeup is all about trying out different products and different things. And this is one of those things that you just have to play with. So now I'm going to take a super fluffy big brush like this. Super fluffy. And I'm just going to go around my face and blend everything together. Make sure it's all nice and blended. You don't want any harsh lines. Now I'm going to go in with my blush. I have a couple blushes to recommend to you guys today. I am a blush fanatic. I love blushes so much. Once again, you just have to mess around and find what works for you. I have a lot of Profusion products. As you can see, they're all mostly dusty and crusty. Because I love the brand. They're really good brands, and they're cheap, and they're at Walmart. So the first one is this blush palette. If you don't really know what you're looking for in a blush and don't really know how to, I would recommend buying this because yes, you're probably not going to use all of these shades, but you can mess around with these four and even this one. These four and that one. If you're a lighter skin tone and if you're darker skin tone, there is a couple for you too. Like you can use that one or that one. But it is a really good starting out blush palette. I really, really like it. It has more neutral tones of blush if you don't like a bright pink blush. The second blush I'm going to recommend to you guys is this Kylie Jenner Cosmetics or Kylie Cosmetics blush in the shade Close to Perfect. It's more of a matte blush. I really like this blush, one, because it adds a very nice sun-kissed look to my cheeks above the bronzer and the contour. I really, really recommend buying this blush. It is super good, and I love it a lot. Now, today, I'm going to go in with the Milani Baked Powder Blush in the shade Luminoso. This is like a cult favorite in the beauty industry. You can get this at Walmart once again. It is like a light pink shade and has quite a bit of shimmer or dewiness, I would say, in it. I like using this one because, once again, it adds color to my cheeks, but it really gives me like that healthy skin look that adds like a little bit of glow to the cheekbones, and I love it so much. You'll see once I put it on, but it is so good. So I'm going to go in with this brush right here. It is angled once again, fluffy. It's kind of the same as your bronzer brush if you wanted to use that one for your blush. So I'm just going to dip right in there. And when I originally got this thing, it was like rounded at the top and you could see it, and it's like flat now. That's how you know how much I've used. I really love this blush. It is so, so good. So I'm just going to take them on my brush, and then I'm just going to apply it to my cheeks in an upward motion. Because once again, we're going for that like facelift look. And as you can see, it does add that little bit of sheen. I use this when I was oily and when I was dry. I love them both because it really just makes me look like I have healthy, natural skin. So yeah, I'm going to apply a little bit to my nose. That's my favorite trick for making everything look super blended. Or my pimple right there. Making everything look blended is applying a little bit to your nose. It just makes you look like you have a little bit of a sunburn, which is not what we always want to look like, but I like it during the summertime. And I apply a little bit to my chin. So that's what I do for my blush. I really recommend getting this blush. This is my favorite blush I've ever bought in my lifetime. It is so, 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 so amazing. So now I'm going to go in and spray my face with setting spray. Just quickly, while my setting spray is drying down a little bit, I recommend the Milani Make It Last setting spray. I'm almost out, so I'm using the Skindinavia one, which I also really like. This is a really, really good setting spray. It adds a little bit of glowiness to your skin, but it also makes your makeup last a really long time. But I'm going to go in with highlight. So I have two really good highlighters to recommend to you guys today. First, ignore the busted and dusted and crusted look to this. It's the e.l.f. Moonlight Highlighter, and it's a baked one. Yeah, Moonlight Pearls. It is such a good highlighter. I've had this for probably, Becca is probably going to kill me, so you should throw away your old makeup. But I probably had this for like 3 or 4 years. At this point, I love this highlighter. It is so, so good. And honestly, 3 years of highlighter that hasn't broken or is empty yet, that's pretty good. I love this highlighter. Obviously, when you first get it, I typically recommend scraping off like a couple layers of it just to get to the good part, because the top layer kind of has a weird film on it, but still, so good. So, well, before I go in and apply the highlight, I'm just going to show you guys this PYT Cosmetics, or PYT Beauty highlighter. This is another one that is almost empty. Actually, this is a mini product, I believe, if you can see it. There you go. I got in an Ulta bag, I think. It's in the shade Backstage Pass. That is a really good highlighter, and it is super cheap. And they are kind of a smaller brand, and I really like their products that they have, and I like supporting those smaller brands. You know, they're trying to get started. So I definitely recommend checking them out. So I'm just going to add a little bit to where I want the light to hit my face, and once it does, I want it to shimmer. I don't really like to go in with too much highlight nowadays. And I definitely don't want to add that over spots I may already have a pimple, like right there. Just because it is going to bring light to those pimples and texture. So a little bit to my nose. Just highlighting my nose. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I really love a good nose highlight. So I like to make it extra blingy. I'm going to apply some of my chin. This is my favorite thing to do on prom makeup or wedding makeup or even my own makeup if I'm doing extra glam, is apply it to the chin because it really just brings focus to your face, and then your chin and your nose, like, oh, it just makes it look so pretty. That's all for face. That was kind of a longer video. But yeah, we're going to move on to eyebrows now.